Heyo, it's me, Lucky Bastard, and this is part 2 of the Strength meta video. I already explained my character in great detail in the first part of this series, and also what the word meta means in this Elden Ring context. So if you haven't, please go and watch the first part. I put the link in the description, and if you like it, please leave a sub. I would like to get monetized someday. So let's get right into the showcase. For this video I've chosen some more funny clips partially, and also some that just didn't fit into the other video thematically. I used this opportunity to show some other, in my opinion, meta-worthy weapons that I didn't show in the first part. Dual Katana Malenia is getting beat up by the horse, man. And another thing about this video is that I chose the clips in order of progression through the game to show that at meta level basically every area is active. Now that we've gotten rid of all the riders, it's time for this fight to actually start. So far Rivers of Blood Malenia did not really look super convincing. And I'm going to hit him with a brutal combo in a moment. Jumping R2 and a charged R2 to punish the panic roll out of the jumping R2. Obviously roll catches are very connection dependent, so oftentimes I'm struggling with hitting them on PC because of latency issues, but well, that's just the game, unfortunately. We're still in the first area of the game in Limgrave, and this guy is solo hosting, such as Malenia in the first clip, and I'm using a claymore with piercing fang, so I'm able to deal quite a lot of damage even though he's kind of protecting himself. But then he does a crucial mistake. I'm 99% sure this was an accident. He probably has his Mimic Veil on a pouch button and just pressed the wrong one instead of a blue flask. We're still in Limgrave, and it's another duel, another solo host. This time I'm using a double lance or power stance lance setup with the barbaric roar on one of them. It gives a small buff to your attack, your defense, and also your stamina regeneration. Well, in this fast you can go from full HP to 1%. So I'm using the dagger and trying to roll catch him. As I said earlier, roll catches are sometimes hard to get because of the PC latency. Well, I eventually get it. GG, very close fight. Okay, so in the next clip I'm once again rocking the claymore. I have a co-invader there right from the start. And I'm thinking this could be like a 2v2 situation. But apparently one of the guys is AFK. And I don't know if they were trying to gank or something, but it seems my teammate is out for fair duels. Like, he's not interrupting my fight with the host. So, okay, I guess maybe he knows those guys and maybe they are in fact dueling. I mean, the Phantom didn't really look like that, to be honest, with his smoke spear and Bowery mask setup. Oh, and the host is also healing. So I guess it's not really a duel. I mean, it's a 1v1 because my teammate is just not getting involved, but well, let's see if we can make something out of that. Oh, nice hyper armor moment. But well, I'm thinking, since he's giving me a lot of time, I'm gonna also squeeze in one of the heals. And he just heals another time. So now I'm a little worried because as he's the host, he has twice as much flasks as me. So I need to outplay him by a factor of 2 in order to eventually wiggle him down. And, well, it's not looking too bad so far, and I'm using this moment to get 2 R2s in and finish him off with a roll catch. This next clip is very funny, it has some very comedic timing. Because in the very beginning of this invasion I got a phone call and I was just AFK for like a bit more than half a minute. And when I came back, I just perfectly timed the dodge on their first attack. And yeah, in this clip I'm using the halberd, a weapon that is also definitely worth mentioning in a meta context, especially with this Ash of War, the Flaming Strike. And I did not use it in the first video, but it's definitely a staple in my weapon selection. This is the Banished Knight's halberd, to be precise. And halberds, such as other thrusting weapons, have gone through quite a lot of patches. in order to make them more balanced. And in my opinion, the halberd is one of the most balanced thrusting weapon because it only has a very, very small frame window where the hitbox is actually active. So you can run into a halberd strike right after the tip reaches its maximum extension. There is no lingering hitbox whatsoever. And other than great spears or dual wield regular spears, the hitbox is also not nearly as wide. Okay, so now we're in the second area in Liurnia, in the academy to be precise. I found these guys in a very peculiar spot. I didn't see the host at all at first, but suddenly he came jumping from behind me. And coincidentally, my arrows just blocked his jumping path, so he fell down there. And I kept shooting him a little bit. Now something truly hilarious happens. I'm trying to snipe him off this narrow piece of wall that leads over there. And he stays there for a second. My arrow hits him, but somehow he manages to cling on to this extremely narrow ledge. I can't even believe it. I'm looking at it like, how could he stand there? I'm not risking it to try if I could stand there. And I see the door is still locked over there. And so the only way to get there is through this window, and I'm just preventing him from getting through this window. As we see, this guy has a huge latency also. That's why this thing with the arrow happened earlier. And well, I'm just trying to hit him somehow and get enough hits to connect before he can heal. And I do just that, eventually. Another weapon class I did not showcase in the first video is the Great Axe. It's supposed to rank somewhere between the Great Hammer and the Great Sword in terms of speed and damage balance, and it definitely has its use cases. This is a classic case of AAA gaming, by the way. So the last clip was in the Mount Gelmi region. This is kind of between Liurnia and the Altus Plateau. This is the Altus Plateau now, so we're kind of almost halfway through the game in terms of areas. I'm just one-shotting the first guy. But it's not gonna be that easy because this bow and arrow guy just decides to run away while the other guy is chasing me with his ultra great sword. And I'm running after him for a while. Quite a while actually, until he stops and lets me hit him again. Unfortunately, the other guy is also still behind me and he gets a gank stab. Classic gank maneuver, punishing me for attacking his teammate. And there, well, I got a little overwhelmed. I should have tried to get away instead of attacking, but well, I got a little impatient. My impatience is also going to show in those next couple of clips, unfortunately. I've invaded this sort of fight club people. It's this one guy who keeps summoning yellows in order to fight against the invaders in 1v1s. But as these are invasion duels and not arena duels, there is not an actual rule set being in place, so it's more of an unspoken agreement kind of thing. And in the heat of the moment, people just tend to not care about those unspoken agreements anymore. And so after shooting his spells at me from afar for a while, I finally get to fight this guy in close combat. He's obviously on a faith build. He's using those fist weapons, they're called Cypher Pata, so he's trying to be dodgy. But I'm again on double lances, and this is a very good setup for roll catching people. And I'm roll catching him quite a lot, with pretty much every of my moves. Until he finally decides to heal and ignore previously mentioned unspoken rule set. But it does not really work out for him. Now there comes another invader, and the host is dueling this other new invader. Well, I'm waiting here, I'm fast forwarding for you guys. I'm spectating the duel, but this is not really what I signed up for. So finally it's over and I'm going to fight the host. But now my impatience is already at a max. And I'm making a little mistake there. I'm buffing, and the host is also buffing, and I'm a little quick there to attack him. Which is a little bit shitty on my side, to be honest. But well, I just couldn't wait anymore, and they were also gesturing and stuff and just taking their time. Also, you never know with those all miracles what's a buff and what's maybe an attack, and you know, I'm a bit sorry for that, but well. I get another chance to be honorable. I invaded those guys a couple times. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of these types of fight clubs in Elden Ring. Because either they keep you waiting for a long time, or sometimes they're just betraying their own kind of rule set, and sometimes they just start ganking you. I mean, one time I invaded them and I had a co-invader, and then it was just a 2v2 for a moment, until it ended being a 2v1 against the host, so we were kind of ganking up on the host, but I guess it's just fair because you know that if it was the other way around, they would also definitely gank up on you. This guy with the double sights is interesting. I kinda underestimated how slow this second swing of the second scythe is, and got hit by it a couple times. It even got pretty close because of the bleed. And now again there's gonna be one of those kinda stupid moments where this guy is seemingly just AFK gesturing over there, and I'm getting ready to fight him, buffing up. He's just not reacting at all. And once in an earlier fight where I invaded the same guys, this guy who is wearing the gold mask, he was kind of sucker punching me. I didn't know who was going to fight me, so I just started fighting him because, as I said, he was also not respecting the start of the duel earlier. And now the host is kind of interfering, this guy is healing up, and well, now it's basically going to be a 2v1 because, as you see, the host just tries to keep me from fighting this guy. This guy is running away and healing. Now I'm running after him for a while, hitting the host accidentally. Now I'm hitting the host on purpose, thinking like, okay, maybe the host will fight me and the other guy will stay back, but no. They're just teaming up on me now. I mean, I guess it's somewhat my own fault because I didn't wait for a proper duel to begin, but well, proper duel is definitely not what I'm getting here. Oh man. And well, I'm not even healing at this point. I did not heal a single time, even though I'm getting ganked upon, and they healed like back to full like 3 times at this point. I tried to keep it somewhat honorable, I guess. In the end, it didn't really matter. By the way, I forgot to mention it in the previous clip. We're in the snow region now, the mountaintops of the giants, which is kind of a late mid-game region, I guess. And there I messed up a hard swap in my inventory. But I still took out this guy. Now I'm going to do it anyway. I'm gonna swap to a weapon which is maybe not the most expected on a strength build. It's a curved sword, but this specific one, the Beastman's curved sword, actually has a better strength than dex scaling. So it's definitely made for strength builds, and it's a very, very good weapon to accompany those ultra great swords or colossal swords, because that's kind of filling the gap. The one thing that the colossal sword is not so good at, which is chasing down faster opponents. It's very good at standing your ground, for sure. But if somebody is trying to get away and they just time the rolls correctly, it's hard to hit them with it. Unless they make a mistake or they're too offensively. Like this guy right here, he's attacking me with the Moonveil, but it's the same guys from the previous clip, so I already knew it was Moonveil and I was a bit more careful. And yeah, they just kept spamming, but this is not the way to treat an ultra great sword. I mean, colossal sword in Elden Ring. Now I'm using the halberd again, against this guy who is using Bleed Claws, which is definitely a meta setup on its own. But the weakness of this setup is definitely the range, which I'm shamelessly exploiting here with my halberd, keeping him on range. And if he comes too close, I can use the Flaming Strike to catch him with it and deal a lot of damage. I was quite close to bleeding there though. Now this next clip is amazing in my opinion. It shows the gank mindset very well. I see those guys running over the chain, and they're at the fog wall right now. And I'm thinking like, well, probably there's no reason to engage, but now I see them running back. And I'm thinking about maybe shooting them off the chain, but it's already too late. And they decided, okay, if there's an invader now, we will just go back and gank him. 3v1. And I'm getting ready for that. The host is kind of hiding there, thinking that his phantoms will do all the work, but no. I'm getting all of them engaged. Should be a nice 3v1 after all. And so now I'm buffing up all the way. And I know that they're hiding behind this giants, frozen giants or whatever. And I'm just poking in the hornet's nest there, outspacing him. And they're kind of aggressive, but not really aggressive enough to use their outnumbering advantage. And now I have to back up a little because they're just spamming, all three of them. And I'm just getting cover to heal. And in this moment, the next stage of the gank mindset starts to kick in apparently. And they're thinking, okay, this guy is apparently not going to get blendered by us. He's not going to be an easy kill. So we're just gonna leave him. We're just gonna go fight the boss. And in this moment, I recognize what I have to do. And I snipe the host off the bridge. So yeah, no, you're not getting away, guys. The next clip was very funny. I did not cut away anything from the start there. It's just that I was AFK, and in this moment when I came back, this happened. And my recording software also started recording in the exact moment when I tapped back into the game and immediately started swinging because I was under attack. God damn it, there's something specifically funny about landing a kill when you were AFK for most of the invasion. In this invasion I was not AFK, I was just trying to maybe snipe this guy with the great bow, but then he did something weird. Did you see that? He ate something, a consumable, and that disconnected us. I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's some sort of modded item or something that just disconnects you from an invader, but I've never seen that before. So if you have any idea, please leave a comment. Anyway, now I'm back in 3v1 action. And now we're also in the Halic tree, which is basically the final region of the game. Maybe I skipped a few regions here and there, like Farum Azula and Mogwen Palace and stuff. Of course, the game is bigger than that. But I've been in most of the open world sections in this video. Just showing that basically every area is active at meta level. From the very start to the very end of the game. So I'm fighting those three guys, trying to hit them from afar, because in close combat it's a bit too dangerous against three guys if they're all swinging their weapons. And now one of them comes over. That's my chance, and I'm using this chance, but I immediately get ganked up on again. And I'm trying to do something risky here. I'm kind of attacking them, even though they're in a 2v1 situation, and this one guy has Rivers of Blood. And now I'm sleeping one of the guys, but unfortunately not both of them, and so I can't really profit off of it. It's rather the other way, yeah. They are profiting off of my mistake. Now I'm trying to get away and heal. And there I have a queued input for a second heal, which is very bad at this moment. And then a little phantom range moment finishes me off. At this point I had no idea that those guys were actually pretty shameless gankers. But I would see this in the very next invasion. There I have a teammate, which is possible because I took one of them out in the previous invasion. Now there's a slot for both of us. And he's using Rodan's paired greatswords to produce this gravity shockwave and eventually pull them off this bridge. And I'm not sure what to do because he could also pull me off the bridge. So I decide to just snipe with the jar cannon. And I shoot the host and I try to shoot him off. But unfortunately I don't land perfectly, so it doesn't fall off. And now we see how shameless those guys are. He's hiding inside the fog wall, which is one of the most shameless moves in this game, but my teammate pulls off an incredible move and pulls him out of the fog wall with the gravity magic. But well, it's not enough, unfortunately he doesn't connect the second part of it. But he gets greedy and wants to resummon, and in this moment I snipe him off the platform. Oh yeah, that feels good.
Point down.
Okay, we're approaching the end. This is the fog gate in front of Liurnia, so pretty much the last chance to invade people before they finish the game, kind of. I mean, Liurnia is not the last boss in the game, lore-wise, but I think she's probably the hardest boss in the game, and so a lot of people do her last after becoming the Elden Lord and so on. So yeah, I'm again on double lances and I'm drinking a basic, which is the Crimson World bubble tier, which makes me immune or lets me even heal from elemental damage, so I'm just tanking this frost storm here and answering with my own kind of storm move, which I don't use a lot because I feel like it's very cheesy and I kind of feel bad for using it. Which is kind of a theme for a lot of those meta builds. I mean, some of those are pretty cheesy. But anyway, you also need to be able to control them in a way like that. This free aim right here was pretty neat. Hitting him in the air and taking him out. Now this is going to be the final invasion. It's again in front of Liurnia's boss, Fog. And there we see two guys who are very prepared for Liurnia. One of them is using seppuku on dual twin blades. So he's got the quadruple blade setup and the full bulldog armor set. And the other guy is trying to buff his damage with the jellyfish shield. But they are kind of skittish, and whenever they come close to me they just get hit a lot. And so the guy decides to rather run away, and they're like, okay man, I'd rather fight Liurnia than this guy. And so they run away, probably in order to get their ass kicked by Liurnia. And as I said, that's it, the final clip for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a blast, in my opinion. I hope you also enjoyed the music. It was my favorite parts of the Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon soundtrack. It's a very epic game. I just recently got to play the whole thing. I can only recommend it. Okay, well, lucky bastard out. Have a good one and see you next time.